In this video, we're going to talk about 10 mistakes to avoid at all costs. So before starting, please do like the video and subscribe to this channel for future updates. Listed here are some of the most typical financial blunders that people make, which frequently result in them experiencing severe financial difficulties. You should avoid making these blunders even if you already are experiencing financial troubles. Avoiding these mistakes could be the difference between life and death. Number 10, not having a plan. Your financial future is dependent on the events that are taking place right now. Despite the fact that people spend countless hours watching television or browsing through their social media accounts, setting out 2 hours each week to manage their finances is out of the question for most. You must have a clear understanding of where you are headed. Make it a priority to spend some time planning your financial future. Number 9, paying off debt with savings. Consider the following scenario. If your debt is costing you 19% of your income and your retirement account is earning 7%, exchanging the retirement account for your debt will result in you pocketing the difference. However, it is not as straightforward as that. In addition to losing the benefit of compounding, it is extremely difficult to repay those retirement savings as you have been subjected to significant penalties. The correct frame of mind might make borrowing from your retirement account an attractive alternative, but even the most diligent financial planners have difficulty setting aside money to rebuild their retirement savings accounts. Most of the time, once a loan is paid off, the sense of pressure to pay it back disappears. It will be quite tempting to continue spending at your current rate, which means you may find yourself in debt once more. In order to pay off debt and savings, you must live as if you still owe money to someone, in this case, to your retirement fund at all times. Number 8, not investing in retirement. The ability to retire may be impossible if your money does not begin to work for you in the markets or through other income-producing investments. Maintaining regular monthly contributions to designated retirement accounts is critical to having financial secure retirement. Using tax-deferred retirement accounts and/or your employer's sponsored retirement plan to your advantage. Understand how much time your investments will need for you to grow and how much risk you are willing to take in order to achieve success. If feasible, get the advice of a knowledgeable financial counselor to ensure that this is in line with your objectives. Number 7, living paycheck to paycheck. The household personal savings rate in the United States was 9.4% in June 2021. In many cases, families are living paycheck to paycheck, and if you're not prepared for an unforeseen crisis, it may quickly turn into a disaster. Overspending has a cumulative effect on people's financial well-being, placing them in a dangerous position in which they require every dollar they earn and in which one missed paycheck could be catastrophic. An economic recession is not a situation you want to find yourself in, yet this is precisely what has happened. If this occurs, you will be left with very few options. Many financial advisors may advise you to keep 3 months' worth of expenses in an account that you can access quickly in case of an emergency. Loss of job or changes in the economy may cause your funds to be depleted, putting you in a cycle of debt that you cannot get out of. In some cases, a 3-month buffer can mean the difference between maintaining your home and losing it. Number 6, using home equity like a piggy bank. Refinancing your house and withdrawing cash from it essentially means you're transferring ownership to someone else. In some circumstances, refinancing may be a viable option. If you're able to cut your interest rate or refinance and pay off higher interest debt, do so. The other option, on the other hand, is to take out a home equity line of credit, a HELOC. This enables you to use the equity in your house in the same way that you would a credit card. This could result in paying excessive interest simply for the privilege of using your home equity line of credit or HELOC. Number 5, spending too much on your home. When it comes to purchasing a house, larger does not always imply a better investment. Unless you have a large family, choosing a home larger than 6,000 square feet could result in higher taxes, maintenance, and utility costs. You truly want to make such a large and long-term dent in your monthly budget, don't you think? Number 4, buying a new car. Every year, millions of new cars are sold, despite the fact that only a small percentage of consumers can afford to pay cash for them. However, being unable to pay cash for a new car does not necessarily imply being unable to afford the vehicle. After all, being able to afford the monthly payment is not the same as being able to afford the car itself. Furthermore, by taking out a loan to purchase a car, the consumer is paying interest on a depreciating asset, which decreases the disparity between the worth of the car and the price at which it was purchased by the consumer. Even worse, many people trade in their automobiles every 2 to 3 years, resulting in a loss of money on each trade. There are instances when people have no choice but to take out a loan to purchase a car. But how many consumers actually require a large SUV? Purchasing, insuring, and fueling such vehicles is prohibitively expensive. Unless you need an SUV to tow a boat or trailer, or unless you need one to earn a job, purchasing one can be a disadvantage. If you need to purchase a car and/or borrow money to do so, consider purchasing a vehicle that consumes less gas and is less expensive to insure and keep up to date. Motor vehicles can be quite expensive, and if you purchase a vehicle that is larger than you require, you may be squandering money that could have been saved or used to pay down debt. Number 3, living on borrowed money. Using credit cards to pay for necessities has become somewhat widespread in recent years, although a rising number of people are ready to pay double-digit interest rates on fuel, food, and a plethora of other products that are gone long before the bill is paid in full. Doing so is not advisable from a financial standpoint. Credit card interest rates significantly increase the cost of the products and have been charged to the card. Using credit can also result in you spending more money than you make in some situations. Number 2, never-ending payments. Consider whether you actually require products for which you will be required to pay every month, year after year. Things like cable television, music services, and high-end gym memberships can compel you to pay on a recurring basis while leaving you with nothing in your possession. Maintaining a more frugal lifestyle when money is tight, or you simply want to save more money, can go a long way toward increasing your savings and protecting you from financial difficulty. Number 1, excessive and frivolous spending. When it comes to gambling, great fortunes are frequently lost $1 at a time. It may not seem like a huge deal when you order that double mocha coffee, go out to dinner, or order that pay-per-view movie, but every small purchase adds up. Even a small amount of $25 per week spent on dining out adds up to $1,300 per year, which may be used to cover an additional credit card or auto payment or multiple additional payments. If you're experiencing financial difficulties, avoiding this blunder is critical. After all, if you're only a few dollars away from foreclosure or bankruptcy, every dollar will be more valuable than it has ever been. Conclusion. To keep oneself from falling prey to the pitfalls of overspending, begin with keeping track of the small expenses that mount up rapidly, and then progress to keeping track of the larger expenses. Consider your options carefully before adding additional debts to your list of obligations, and bear in mind that being able to make a payment does not imply that you can afford the item in question. Finally, make saving a portion of your income a monthly priority, as well as devoting time to building a strong financial plan a top priority. What blunder have you been doing all the time? Let us know in the comment box below. Please do like this video and subscribe to this channel for future updates.